I'm not saying that it won't happen, but me and you, we might actually have an IRL podcast later this summer, depending on if our
Hey,
schedules are lined up correctly.
fuck you, dude. Doesn't match his podcast.
Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? We were supposed to have a podcast episode a week ago. What were you doing?
My phone was on just do not disturb.
So you're telling me I had to travel my sorry ass all the way up to Normal, Illinois, 4 hours away, mind you, from where I am, just to have a podcast episode? Scoot your ass over, sit down. We're gonna record a podcast episode.
Oh, let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, welcome back to RSL episode. How many is it?
This is 3 with me.
3 with Rylan. And third is the best. You want to know why? Because I infiltrated his home. I traveled 4 hours away.
You did, yeah.
From my little old humble abode. And in today's podcast episode, we're going over a lot of college football, but just football in general. Because it's going to be back in just a couple of weeks. It's right around the corner.
Ready?
I'm excited. So I think I don't think you need any introductions. You've been on the podcast more than anybody else, realistically.
Yeah.
You've been on twice. And you know what? I think since third time's a charm, might as well take a trip up to Normal, Illinois. And our podcast setup is a little bit different. We got, OBS running on the TV. We got the camera with my iPhone camera right over here. And then obviously got the microphone just doing its thing like normal. So it's going to be a little bit weirder, but I'll obviously edit anything I need to. Lighting's obviously a lot better compared to, my dorm.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
horrible.
Well, even my lighting probably blinded the camera a few times.
Oh,
That lighting
no.
was pretty bad.
Actually, no.
The second one?
No, the second one, that was when you were at home.
And that was when the lighting was really bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, no, both of the times was when we were at home.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've ever done it in your dorm, or not dorm,
Or
your
I've ever done
apartment.
it in my apartment.
Yes.
Yeah, I've always been at home. Yeah.
It's kind of insane because I kind of expected you to make the trip up to Miami, considering they have their own podcast equipment and stuff like that. But considering the fact that I'm doing this first, I feel as if you kind of owe me a favor.
Oh, yeah?
Besides
Yeah.
paying for most of my food.
Yeah, hey, you know what? If that's the price, that's all right. I'll pay it.
Hey, it's thank you, obviously,
Of course.
but it's 250. It was 256 miles of absolute hell just to get up here because half of it was just construction, just getting up from Cincinnati to Indianapolis itself, and then the rest of the way there was kind of smooth sailing. There was still some construction, but it was all right otherwise.
That's good.
But anyways, enough blabbering about that. Let's obviously get into the first segment of our podcast. My podcast.
Yeah, not ours, yours.
Yeah, mine.
Yours. Sorry.
Yeah, we
Just
don't want to
freaking-
make the same mistake that we did last episode.
Freaking guest.
Editor, put the clip.
First sponsor, not ours. Not ours. Your guest. Your guest.
So anyways, our first little segment is obviously Illinois State. They're being ranked number 4 for the first time since 2015, and besides that, they have never been ranked outside of that. At least the highest ranking they've ever gotten was number 4, and the only other time they had it was 2015. So it's kind of astonishing that the only other time was in almost the past 10 years,
Yeah.
honestly. And it makes sense coming off of almost a championship. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, they did lose it in the end. I think, was it to UC Davis?
No, they beat.
No, they beat UC Davis,
they
and then they
lost
lost to
to-
Montana State.
They did lose to Montana State.
Yes. So obviously, I'm not as qualified to talk about FCS as Rylan typically is, but mostly because of the fact that FCS is not, my school's division like Notre
Yeah.
Dame and Miami typically is. But obviously, we'll get into FBS football. But FCS football is also just as important because you never know when FCS schools are going to get reallocated to a different conference because they get more fans, more and more funding, and in general, more and more publicity.
Yeah.
So it really depends, and I think Illinois State has a real shot to actually join outside of the FBS Power 4 conferences. So like I'd say the MAC.
I could see that.
Because Northern Illinois played there initially when they joined. I think they were initially either independent or they were Conference USA. But
I'm not sure.
But
I was gonna say, I will say, one of the teams from our conference did just make the jump to the FBS.
yeah, which was North Dakota State,
Yep.
the Bison. They are now in the Mountain West, which is amazing because it took them long enough. I just don't know why South Dakota State didn't do the same thing.
I was gonna say, well, even with North Dakota State, I don't know why it took them this long. They've been dominating the FBS for
You mean
the
the
last
FCS?
FCS. Oh my gosh, they've been dominating the FCS for I don't know, like at least the last
Yeah.
5-10 years. Even when Carson Wentz was
Carson Wentz,
there
there was Trey Lance.
like they've always been such a powerhouse.
Yeah.
So
And you know, it's nothing against them. I mean, they absolutely deserve the right to move up after how much they've done. I think it's just the fact that North Dakota, as a state itself, is such a small market, and it's not as easy to get fans. I don't know how the hell Wyoming got their team in the FBS, considering I'm arguing the same fact about them essentially. But
you know what?
I think that they were just a part of the initial Mountain West, I believe. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure. I could not tell.
I'm not going to edit it in post because I'm lazy. And I already edited a 12-minute video essay about almost a week prior.
Yeah.
As of recording this. So it's I don't want to tax myself too much already because we're only 6 minutes in. So
6 minutes in, already had the editor do some work, you know?
Yeah, we're already putting in the work.
Yeah.
Editor as in me.
Yeah.
From the future.
Yeah, there it is.
But
I am really excited for this year, I will say. I feel like we definitely stand a good chance. We kept a lot of our key players. We did lose a lot of people. Like, for example, one of our guys got signed to the Houston Texans. Daniel Sopkowitz got signed there, so he's not.
Your star quarterback actually got signed, I believe, to the CFL.
He did. I forgot the team, but I know
the Quebec, or was it Quebec?
Editor, put it on screen.
No, I'll just look it up right now because I can't. So, yeah, the Quebec BC Lions.
Quebec BC Lions.
Yes. So
Yes,
essentially,
that.
Quebec is a part of the CFL, which is a different sub-franchise of the NFL.
Yep.
Essentially, kind of like USFL, the UFL USFL before they merged into the UFL. But you get the point. But your quarterback went off because he scored over 40 touchdowns, and that's just impressive in of itself. Honestly,
he definitely slung it a lot. He would sling that thing. It was. I mean, Grant, don't get me wrong. He would. It was okay.
Phrasing.
Don't do that. Okay, that's not what I meant. All right, but he would definitely like. He was like an all or nothing kind of quarterback. You know.
Yeah.
It's all in there. He was.
He was
always
a realistic
But-
field general who he was really good. Had really good throw on the run.
Yeah.
So
hey, I'm excited for him. Glad he got that chance. I mean, overall, that team last year, especially like that whole Cinderella run, really special. But
because you guys were ranked number 15 at the time when you got into the playoffs, and then I think playoff rankings power rankings were done for, but I still think that they kept track of it as it went on, just as like just like for like extra pity points, I guess, depending on how you look, so they could at least give you like a final power ranking of how your team realistically did overall in the playoffs. But I'm just happy with the fact that y'all at least reached the national championship, because y'all are constantly ranked all the time in the FCS, despite the fact that you don't always make the playoffs. So
even I was gonna say, like, even I remember going into the playoffs, they weren't even guaranteed to be in the playoffs.
no, they had to win it.
play-in.
Didn't they have to win it against Yale?
They had to win it against.
Or no?
I don't remember the team, but they
The
had
first
to win it.
round was Yale. I
Their
believe.
first round was potentially. I know they beat. They beat Villanova. Villanova was beaten.
Yes.
UC
Davis.
Davis was beaten.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't UC. It was Yale
UC
after that, then
Was it
UC
Yale?
Davis, and
Or
then you
something
had
like
to
that.
face Montana State, which you unfortunately lost, like we
Hey.
mentioned.
But like drove them to overtime. They had a really solid team. They were ranked second. So we beat North Dakota State, the number 1 ranked team.
Yes, you did.
We had
You
to beat
did.
them. That was actually our first game after our playing game. Yeah, so that was a huge upset. I remember walking into my apartment and my roommate freaking out about the game. Actually,
Was it B-Dog?
No, it was not B-Dog.
It was. Was it one of the senior roommates?
It was,
Oh,
but
my
it was
goodness.
awesome. It was so awesome to hear. Came in from class and he's like, we are beating North Dakota State right now. Pull up the game, because I didn't have anything else to pull it up on. Pull it up on TikTok. Watch the end of the game on TikTok.
Pull it up on TikTok. They had it streaming on TikTok.
They have the illegal, like how people stream things
Oh,
illegally.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Editor, don't promote this.
Shh.
Even though we
No.
do this all the time at home, we don't
We don't condone this.
kind of
Kind
learn it on your own time. Yeah.
of. Anyways.
But yeah, Illinois State is just a fantastic team overall, and I think I hope the best for them in for the coming season. Even though I probably won't be paying nearly as much attention to them as I will for Miami and Notre Dame, and I guess literally every other FBS school,
Hey, you know what?
because
That's all right.
there's a lot of bigger fish to fry. You know these.
You got me to fill you in. I'll let you know how it's going.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got the inside scoop,
I do.
as they say.
And then you'll let me know about FBS.
I think you'll probably know about FBS as well.
Maybe. We'll see. It depends if I keep up with it or not.
Probably.
We'll see.
But anyways, moving on to our next segment of our podcast, we have obviously more college football, because why the hell not?
Exactly.
And this is about FBS this time. We got the college football preseason top 25 rankings, and this was from the coaches poll, I believe. First, because I think the AP poll comes out last, and I think the AP poll is followed more closely than the coaches poll, but this is literally just sustenance. I think people in the off season will literally just take anything at this point.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
So I don't have a problem with Ohio State being number 1. That's obvious.
Yeah.
What I do have a problem with is I don't want to be biased at all. I think Notre Dame deserves 5. I don't think they a lot of people think they should be top 4. I don't believe that they should be. CJ Carr was in his sophomore season last year, and honestly, he probably should not declare for the NFL draft this year. I get the fact that he could obviously, go off and do his own thing, what he wants to, but my point being is you need just as much experience as you can get, and honestly, at the college level alone, that immensely will help. What I am mad about is the fact that the defending champs, IU, despite bringing in, I believe, John Mateer, I think. I could be wrong. Well, you know what? This is why we look up these things.
Yeah.
But
Like, surprised that they're 6th?
yes, because
I am
they are
very
the
surprised at that,
defending.
too.
Yeah, it's Josh Hoover, transferred from TCU. Never mind.
That is a...
John Mateer, I believe, is Oklahoma's starting quarterback.
Okay.
So, and speaking of, they are ranked 9th. So that
I think
is,
it's a pretty valid one. Ranked 9th.
Yeah.
I like that ranking.
Yeah, Ole Miss obviously is ranked number 10. I can understand
I
that
like
because of
that one,
Trinidad Chambliss. I think they got their stud wide receivers, and it just makes a whole lot of sense. I can understand why Texas Tech has bumped down so much, because they changed their logo back to the old one, and that arguably looks way worse because it's just
Yeah.
2 letters.
Just 2 T's. That's all it is.
I mean, it always was 2 T's, but I mean,
Right.
they at least had something going on
Yeah, well, I mean...
with the I think the embroiderment
Yeah, it's...
with the
just-
text.
Yeah.
They
It's a
tried to
little
make it
boring.
look. It is, but keep in mind that they've used this one before, so it shouldn't be a surprise to fans that they might try and go back to something that just looks a little bit better. And I think the previous logo obviously was catered towards more like the Patrick Mahomes era, and they kind of
Yeah.
wanted to move on, especially with the fact that the Big 12 was constantly changing, and they probably wanted to go into a new identity anyways.
That's fair.
But USC, obviously, Notre Dame's, format obviously being ranked so much lower, and rightfully so, because they don't have nearly as much talent as Notre Dame. And not dissing them, they definitely have the talent there. It's just I don't think they can get it done, even though Lincoln Riley is one of the best coaches in college football. So it's really hard to dictate these things because, for one, you don't know who's injured already because college football news comes out not immediately. It probably comes out after practice because not as many people view college football practices because I think they're more limited to not viewing them in general. I don't think it's for public viewings. I think it's for like families and stuff like that. And in general, they want to keep that to themselves and let the media handle the rest once they're done with practice.
Yeah.
So I think that's why injuries get broken to the news and media in general afterwards, or like maybe even a day later at that point. But what I am confused about is obviously Houston. Now, I haven't kept up with Houston nearly as much ever since like 2021 when UC was making the playoffs and they had to beat Houston in order to win, I believe, the American Athletic Conference Championship. Either that or it was ECU, I believe, that they had to beat. Maybe it was ECU because they have two different divisions, and I think ECU was on the other one. Missouri makes sense at 25. I don't understand Iowa at 22. Again, they don't really have any passing game as far as I'm concerned. They're mostly heavily relying on their defense and their run game, along with that really stable O-line that they always seem to constantly build. They also have a very good tight end who's projected to go in the third round this year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that he would obviously show up and put up some stats too.
Yeah.
Who is like probably your biggest surprise, at least in this top 25 alone?
I mean, my biggest one probably would just be Indiana being sixth. I think that they should be higher. I think that they should be, I don't know where I would necessarily put them. I just don't think sixth is appropriate for them, especially since they did keep a lot of their quality. Of course they did lose. I mean,
and their main A game is kind of grabbing people from the transfer portal. That's kind of how Kurt Signetti builds his teams around because they want players with experience rather than teaching them right off the get-go. Even though there's 5 stars that have been committing to the school, that doesn't exactly mean that he wants to work with that talent nearly as much as somebody like an experienced transfer would be.
It's good, especially like they can develop behind those experienced transfers. Like if you bring those people in, they can definitely like show off some like maturity
because they know what to expect in college.
Yeah, it's a maturity thing as well.
It is a whole different level.
So I think the way that they're doing it is like executed very well. I mean, we saw it last year, executed amazingly.
Because Fernando Mendoza transferred from California initially, put up some really decent stats for California up until he transferred to Indiana, and then he took a massive leap compared to his previous years.
Exactly.
And that's no coincidence.
It's going to keep happening. I think that sixth is a little disrespected. Like, I think that's my biggest one.
It could be a little bit higher. I would even go as far to say as I would put Notre Dame in 6.
Okay. Wow. That takes a lot.
Yeah. Well, I am an IU basketball fan. I'm not... But then again, we suffer a lot more in that sport than we'd like to admit. So
hey, you know what? That's all right. It's all right. You got football.
It's not like Illinois State is doing much better in basketball.
Yeah, no.
So
not as good as you guys. Huh?
Yeah, but Miami at 7. I could see it. I'd rather see Miami at 9, and then Oklahoma at 8, Texas A&M at 7.
Okay.
It would make a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then Ole Miss State at 10.
Yeah, I do like Ole Miss at 10.
I don't know what Penn State is doing there at all.
At 17, yeah.
Anywhere,
yeah,
actually.
I was going to say, I don't know.
Because a lot of Penn State transfers and commits did flip it to Virginia Tech for Lincoln Riley alone.
Yeah.
Which I think is obviously what turns away the talent because I don't even know Penn State's head coach right now. I can look it up.
That's just, I would agree with you, especially.
Oh, Matt
recently,
Campbell.
I don't think it's been too strong. I don't know. As I would say, I'm not as strong in the FBS, but I mean, I would say that
it's a lot better in the FCS. So
I don't know how to feel about it.
Goodness gracious. And I can understand Clemson at 23. I understand LSU at 13 because they got Sam Leavitt.
Oh yeah.
But I see them barely. I see them missing the playoffs in this scenario because he's just not realistically good enough to hit playoff talent so far. And I feel as if he's gonna hit the same roadblock Garrett Nussmeier did last season with a lot of the strength that the SEC just has in general. And it's no fault to him. The SEC is a very competitive conference, and there's no brushing around it easily unless you just play Mississippi State. You can't even make fun of Vanderbilt anymore because they had an amazing season, but obviously there was when Diego Pavia got drafted, or he didn't even get drafted. He got signed to the Raiders. He actually got released.
Did he actually? I didn't. See that.
To no surprise. The dude was an absolute egotistical douchebag, from what I could tell.
Yeah.
And he did not even have an agent. He was like, "Why have an agent when that's stealing your money and all that sort of stuff?" And I'm like, "That is not what an agent is supposed to do." He was supporting himself, is what he said.
That's a little crazy. I don't know why.
I think he might have gotten hit too many times this past season. Maybe. Washington, I can kind of understand 19. They kind of typically crack, the bottom spots of the top 25 at the start of the season. What really depends is if they decide to, keep their stature in the poll rankings each week this season and decide not to drop off, because Washington State was actually ranked, I think, once this past season. Because I think they beat Washington. I can check.
Yeah.
Washington State. They actually didn't play. Well, wait, no. Oh, wow.
Oh, never mind. They got.
Okay, so they were not ranked that season. I think it might have been. It was even 2023, dude. Okay, so I'm delusional, is what I am.
Maybe we weren't right.
And you know what? It's okay. Sometimes I make mistakes, and that's all right. I put myself fully accountable for that kind of stuff, even though I really don't like to. But I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, fair
to be
enough.
fair.
You know what? It's okay. Me either.
And I think one more team I would like to take a rip at is obviously Utah. How long do you think Utah's going to stay in the rankings before they fall off? It's not going to take long.
Say like a week or two.
I give them 3 or 4. I give them benefit of the doubt.
I think
like they go 2-1, and then they lose their second, and then they drop out, but then they come back in like they usually do at the end of the season for like at least a bowl game berth or something.
Yeah. All right, that's fair.
Or like a high tier bowl game at least.
That's a fair take.
I'm not really sure about Clemson actually, because I don't even know who is manning the entire operations there. At least as at quarterback. Tennessee, I can kind of get behind. SMU,
right.
Not too sure either. Well,
SMU will be interesting to see.
We play it by ear. Now, for the other people in the top 4, I can completely understand it. Georgia had one of the best recruitment rankings this past season so far.
Yeah.
I believe they were in the top 5 alone. And Texas was, I don't think, up there. I think it was Oregon that was also up there.
Yeah, but they always have amazing.
Yeah, because they got such a great motivator.
They have good history. They have, they always are able to bring in that good talent. That they're always going to be up there in that for sure.
Yeah,
so they're also just a good recruiting school too. So.
Yeah, and it's good, but I want to see them finally get their first national championship. I want to see them walk it down this season.
That'd be awesome.
I also want to see Notre Dame win.
Of course.
But I'd also like somebody else who has never, held the trophy before finally hoist it.
I agree with that, yeah.
So, but anyways, we are going to go towards more of the NFL because we had some record predictions. And Rylan predicted the Bears to be projected with a 12-5 record.
I did do that.
Now, while I pull this up.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, no, we got the screenshots.
do. Oh yes, we do. Um,
Actually, let's just do Jerry Pick'em because that's what we used initially.
yep.
And so, yep,
Alright.
here it is. Here it is. So I'm obviously going to switch screens. You said 12 and 5. I'm going to show them why. I will obviously cut that part out.
We find it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So here's what Rylan was predicting. Week 1. Actually, you
I
go
got
over
this.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So week 1, I think we'll beat the Panthers. I think they'll be a good team this year. Actually, I think that
Yes.
they had a really solid draft, and obviously,
I think they're just going to keep it going.
I think they really will. But I think the Bears will win that game. I think we're just a bit stronger there.
Yeah.
Vikings, I think we'll beat them week 2. We're gonna be at home. They're still gonna be figuring out their whole 9 Kyler Murray thing going on there. So we're gonna see how that goes. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave us a little bit of trouble though, because I mean, if the Bears go in as they did last year, I could definitely see that being a hard game.
Yes.
Week 3, I do have the Eagles beating us this year, unlike last year when we beat them at
A sort of revenge game for them.
yeah, I think they will take the revenge here. I think that they will find their identity because I feel like even last year they lost that little bit. Like they have such dominant players and they really I feel like they really dropped the ball there, you know? I mean, I don't think they definitely didn't have a good game versus us. I mean, that's where the Bears started to shine, I feel like. That's when we actually were first in the entire NFC at that point. And then obviously lost it, but I mean, that was like our start, and then we'll go to week 4, Jets. I think we'll win that game.
I think it's
pretty
going to be a close
handily.
game there.
Really? You think so?
No.
I think so? Yeah.
No.
Alright.
No. I'm joking, obviously.
Well, no, I know. But, like, I think week 4 will beat them. I mean,
It could be very much of a trap game if they'd like it to be, but I
could
don't
be.
see it being any closer than that.
week 5, I do have us losing to the Packers at home.
It makes sense. It's at
I mean,
Lambeau.
I think it's like kind of a trade-off. I think no matter what, we're kind of like inevitable to split the series here.
Because it's always packed out at Social Field, but it is always sold out at Lambeau Field. There's a big difference.
Exactly.
Like you can have a packed out game, but when you have a sold out game, that's when it's really going to get you in trouble with the stadium, with the crowd in general.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the Bears overcoming that, especially the Packers. I mean, I hate to admit it, they do have an okay team. All right, they have an okay team, so I'll give them that. I do have us beating Atlanta at away at Atlanta's home. The reason I'm saying that is because we were talking about this earlier.
We don't know who the quarterback is going to
We
be,
don't
and
know
I
what
don't
they're
think the
gonna do.
head coaches do because Michael Penix is currently doing 7-on-7s because he's still recovering from his torn ACL and the surgery he had on it. And then Tua still has his back injury. So we really don't know what's going to happen because the only other quarterback besides Cooper Rush is a D2 quarterback
Yup. Yeah, we had this whole conversation
from
last
Minnesota.
night. Yup. It's such an interesting game. We'll have to see if like one of them is fully healthy by week 6. I mean, that is a good way into the season. So we'll see. But we'll go into week 7 here. A really good game, I think. Bears versus Patriots. I think Bears win narrowly at home. And the reason I'm going to say this is I think this is going to come out to a shootout here. I think this game is going to come out to a shootout.
Because of run defense and the fact that Travion
exactly.
Henderson could just blow by it.
Exactly. I think that this is going to be a really, like, our run defense is not, it's definitely our weakest.
You have to
spot
worry
right
about
now.
Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. Just think about that.
They're going to be switching off, and it's going to be a bit of an issue. I definitely don't know how it's going to go, but I also have faith that, the soldier, I think our presence is definitely going to give them a bit of an issue.
Yes.
So I that's why I think we will win, but I think it'll be a very close game. Week 8, I do have us losing to Seattle. I mean,
it's at their home field. They're
home
defending
field.
Super Bowl champions. If nobody gets injured, it's really scary just playing against them. Even now,
strong team.
with what they lost, like
I mean, we took
with Kobe Bryant,
from
they
them.
lost.
Yeah,
You took
Bryant.
Kobe Bryant. We took Blake Mafe,
Yeah.
even though he was kind of like he was a sub right end, but when he played, he
was
played
great.
his heart out.
He was really good. Yeah. No, they'll still be a really strong team. I really think that they'll be able to, especially if Sam Darnold is going to keep doing what he's been doing. I think we'll definitely be able to just even in our pass game, which I would say is definitely our stronger side, I think that we will be beaten there, especially with that Seahawks defense. Like they lost a lot, but man, that Seahawks defense was stacked last year. They're still so good. And then week 9, I do have us beating the Bucks. I think that's kind of the Bucks are a weird team. I think they're in a weird stage right now. They're like they got some good young players, but they also have some.
They lost
old
a bunch
players.
of stuff.
Yeah, they lost a bunch of people.
They lost Mike Evans.
It's
We're not really sure how good
interesting.
Chris Godwin's going to do, and it's also up to Baker Mayfield if
And
he
then
wants.
Micah Buka, who started well last season,
But kind
and
of
it
fell off a little
exactly.
bit. But I think he's still going to do pretty good either way, coming sophomore season, because freshman year in the NFL, your rookie season is kind of just a test to what you could possibly be capable of. And if you decide to pop off your first 5 weeks, that's just going to invoke a lot of spark to just coaches and scouts in general who are just trying to figure out what is the best way to stop this guy, because obviously he's been an issue regardless of the fact that it was only at one point during the season he could have this spark again.
Yeah,
and we don't know when it's going to happen, which is the worst part because it's unpredictable.
Yeah. All right, and then we'll go week 10 as our bye, which is I would argue is a really good bye week there. It's almost halfway through the season.
I think you guys win the bye week.
Yeah, well, that's all I'm saying, but yeah.
It could be a little bit close. I don't know. Maybe.
Not that same team. All right, we're not the Cleveland Browns. All right,
Oh.
lose to their bye week. Week 11. Saints. Okay, Saints. I do think are going to be sneaky decent this year. I do think they're going to be actually better than some people are expecting. But I do think we'll win that game pretty comfortably. I think we're just we're well-rounded. I think we're definitely better in that department than they are. So I think we'll win that game. Week 12 versus the Lions at their home.
You losing at Ford Field kind of makes sense.
They're just. I mean,
I can understand you just splitting the series between two of the top NFC North teams besides yourself. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
The Vikings can obviously be a bit easier depending on how the quarterback battle, and depending on if Kyler struggles in the Vikings offense. I don't think he will, considering the fact that because Sam Darnold had an uprising. Kyler Murray could do the same thing, and then he could go to a different team and possibly win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying anything, but it's possible.
I think it's definitely going to be an interesting scenario. I mean, the Lions I think will beat us. I mean,
the Lions are all around a good team.
They're just always they just have such, especially over the next few years.
They've got
such
talent.
a good team.
At some point they're obviously going to lose Jared Goff, but
that's not
when they do get a quarterback. It's probably going to be okay, we're starting to rebuild, and you know what, we need to get an actual field general back on the field that can actually throw the ball to our weapons, because even though they're aging, we don't have somebody else to age with them.
I was gonna say they're still not even that old though.
No.
Who's the oldest of them? Probably Amon-Ra?
And I think he's
not even that old though.
He's 26.
He's 20. I was gonna say even 27, but that's not old. He still has a lot in him.
Yeah, he's got good 4 to 7 years.
Yeah, so he is they have a bunch of young weapons around them. They're gonna be a threat every time they come around. Week 13, Jacksonville versus Bears. Bears at home. I do think the Bears will win that game.
Yeah.
But I mean, even we saw last year, Jacksonville really stepped it up. I thought they were gonna be another 9-8, 8-9 team, but they really stepped it up. They went 11-6, and they really showed why they were a good team. They really showed it.
I'd say the margin of victory would be a little bit bigger this time though, because Devin Lloyd, obviously, losing him is a big thing.
He was like a glue man to that defense right there. He made big plays. Really, I feel like he really held that team together really well. He made a lot of, especially even against the Bills. I mean, I remember I didn't get to see much of the Bills game that they played, but man, from what I saw, I was only able to see a few drives for both teams. But man, from what I saw, he really was the standalone player there, and that really sucks losing him.
Yeah.
Week 14 versus the Dolphins, 70-0 maybe. I mean,
give them some credit.
Okay, 70-7.
No, 82-0.
Oh, got it. All right.
No, I'm kidding. They will probably. The Bears will probably win 35-7.
I don't know what the Dolphins are gonna do.
The thing about it is that Dolphins have such a bad O-line. They don't really have any weapons that Malik Willis can throw him to, and
They
he's
don't
probably
have
going to be on the run, kind of like how Justin Fields was during his rookie season.
Yeah, that's a fair.
And I think Devon Achane is probably going to be on IR way more than just once this season.
Really? Okay. All right. Week 15, Buffalo. I have us losing that game. Buffalo.
I don't blame you.
Versus the. I mean, hey, you know what? DJ Moore's gonna come in and light us up.
Revenge game? I don't even think it would be revenge. I mean, he did his best with the Bears.
No, he was amazing with us. I mean, there were some
think
points.
he just wanted a little bit more because he was still aging and he just wanted to go to something a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I think even then, yeah, I mean, he's getting the Bills who are in a win now mode. I mean, they're still like such a good team, but I mean, you know,
And the fact that he can automatically be a wide receiver one on the Bills is crazy.
Yeah, especially, I mean, we had Roman Luther coming up too. We definitely need to make some space for those two to start getting more reps, as DJ Moore was still technically like our one.
Yeah.
Especially as Rome struggled. He had a little bit of injury, like
Was
mishap.
ridiculed with it.
Yeah.
Well, that was his rookie season.
Well, even his last season.
His last season he was out for a little bit, but when he came back, he was almost unstoppable.
Yeah. I mean, even Luther Burden, I think he was our wide receiver 3.
He started out slow.
He had
and then once he started getting his reps, he started really, really going.
I mean, we saw the mobility. We saw everything. Like I'm glad that we're definitely going to be able to utilize it more.
Yes.
Week 16, I believe this is the Christmas game. Bears are beating Packers at home. I mean, I think this is kind of like a trade-off. I think one team wins one game, the other one wins the other game. I think that's what's going to happen. I think, depending on how the season goes, this is going to be a make or break game for either team here, and this could be potentially for the division at that point. I mean, obviously the Bears are ending with 3 division games at the end of the season, which is rough to say the least, because that'll be a very strong determinant for how to go.
I think the main battle is going to be with the Lions.
That's what I was thinking after that. It's one of those 2 weeks that are going to
because I
tell
feel
a
like
story.
the Packers would be that team in the division to kind of split between games with Minnesota.
You think so? Yeah.
So it would kind of be a battle between. I still think the Packers would still get their wild card spot. I think that they've got a good chance for both Detroit and Green Bay to make both wild card spots. Because remember, wild card spots are open to anyone. It's not just like anybody in the division. It's not restricted to. If you got a really good record, you are almost guaranteed to get a wild card.
Yeah, I mean, we only saw. We could have seen even the Lions or Minnesota go through last year because the Lions
Lions
didn't go through because San Francisco Rams and Seahawks.
That's
went through.
right.
And they just had amazing seasons.
I don't know how San Francisco made it.
Lions and Minnesota actually finished 9-8. They both were 9-8.
Oh yeah, that is right.
But they if Lions win that last game against Minnesota, that they lost, they win that game, they go 10-7, and that's very easily a wild card spot. Like that's typically a wild card spot right there, you know.
Yeah.
So week 17 will definitely tell a story there. I mean, I think the Bears will win that game because I do think they split with the Lions, and they'll be at home, and I feel like that'll be...
Home field advantage is so important.
It is, and I think that'll be actually a very important game, especially going to the season. These last 3 games are really, the Bears need to really come together these last 3 weeks.
And they cannot rest their starters for Week 18 either.
Well, I was thinking Week 18, depending on how the season falls...
Like, if they already win the division, they can just rest their starters.
Exactly. I think Minnesota would win that game.
But I think what they'd like to do is kind of, win the last game and kind of have an easier time, possibly with a lower wild card seeded team.
That's fair.
And in
carry
that way,
momentum.
Yeah, carry that momentum, get the victory going, and then get the buses going, and then on to the next week, and then you have a lot more confidence in the guys coming out of their other game, because obviously they would be playing a tougher opponent in that case.
Yeah, and then 12-5 ending record. I mean, one better than last season. I think that's a pretty fair take. I mean, some of these games could go anyway, but I think that this is a pretty fair take on the Bears
Yeah,
season.
realistically, if you guys were injured with injuries or anything like that,
This could definitely be worse.
you guys could probably lose to Carolina.
That could easily be a loss.
It could also just be dumb luck.
I mean, Patriots. I think we could lose that game as well.
You could
We
also lose against the
that game.
Patriots,
Jacksonville, we could lose to.
and
I
you
mean,
could very much be 9-8,
Yeah, exactly.
and you could be in some
Yeah.
trouble. Hell, you could even lose to the Packers twice.
Or the Lions twice. Like,
Yeah.
both those games are open there, and that would put us
It could be a lot of trouble.
with injuries. Yeah, for sure.
And you guys don't have just as much of a good schedule as somebody like Bengals do, with like a lot of flexibility that we would have. And speaking of, we are going to transition into the final segment of our podcast, which will be the Bengals. Now, I'm a little bit more delusional than Rylan. Because I got them going 13-4, and rightfully so, because of how much our defense has improved in general come last season. We could not save a pass from the other team for the life of us.
Yeah.
And that cost us God knows how many games. Jets, Bears,
Yeah.
fuck you. But
I think those are like the big two that come to mind. For sure.
you signed Dexter Lawrence, you signed Jonathan Allen, you signed Boye Mafe, you signed... It's like whenever I record a podcast episode, I can't say our free safety's name.
I think maybe free safety is. Let's do
Don't
it.
look.
Okay.
Brian Cook.
Brian Cook.
I
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
did not look that up.
No, Brian
He's a
Cook.
Cincinnati
Yeah.
native, which is good.
Yeah.
However, the Bengals, I feel like if injuries don't ridicule them, they will not. They will probably win those amount of games. I think that's like the ceiling for them. And for them in general, I think they've got a lot going for them because there is so many things that can happen, such as injuries, ridiculing their season like it typically likes to every other year.
Yeah.
But there is so many things that could happen as well, such as, the Bengals don't get injured. And, we might drop a couple of games depending on how well we do. And I just think that, we finally, because Joe Burrow literally said that we have we are looking like 2019 LSU right now. And I think that is the best way to put it. Well, in his eyes, at least. Don't.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If that's what he thinks, and I would. Hey, I got no issue with seeing the Bengals do well.
Yeah, but here is essentially how I have the Bengals. I did not pick a game.
Chiefs game.
Wait,
Which game was it?
which game was it?
I think it was the Browns game. No.
Oh, yeah,
Was
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Was it?
It was. Okay, so week one, I know we don't really do that great in week one because we're always at a slow start at any given point. So it all comes down to this: if we play our butts off and we do what we're supposed to, and we get through training camp with no issues at all, week one will be a slice of cake, piece of cake. Week two could possibly be the same thing, coming off of week one, having that same momentum. Week three, and then you keep
Well, I was
going.
gonna say even week two, you're playing against the Texans, who we saw they had a really strong weakness on their offense.
Yes, because their O-line is so weak. You will not believe it.
Yeah, their O line is so weak. CJ Stroud has no time. You guys bulked up that defense, like
that's
You guys
great
are-
and all, but
you guys are
what
gonna
good?
get to him all the
Yeah,
time.
what good does it do if CJ can't really, do this thing
And
on
then,
his side of the ball?
They have such a strong defense, but I mean, you got such a potent offense. It's
we
just
got
gonna go.
we got TJ. Who would you like us to throw to? Who would you like us to hand the ball off to?
Anybody, it's just anybody. It can
We
be
give it to
anyone.
Mike Gesicki. He'll do what he wants
He'll
to.
bruise
I
for a
guess.
few yards. He'll bruise for a few yards
Yeah.
for sure.
We give it to Jamar. He's gone. We give it to T. He's
He's gone.
he's fighting. And then we give it to Chase. He's a very elusive running back. So
Had him on my
it's...
fantasy last year.
So did I.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Absolutely. I also had Jamar.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Those passing yards really came in clutch.
Bet they did.
Until the championship, which I lost by 2.
You lost by 2 in the championship.
Yes.
Hey, better than losing to Trey McBride.
I think there's a more embarrassing way to go out.
Hey, the Kyler Murray didn't. The quarterback had 0 points. He was out for the season, and I lost. It was a free 0 points. That's pretty rough. That's embarrassing.
Okay, I guess you're right.
Yeah, I lost to 3 players.
But Steelers, I think they win against the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could also split, but I see them winning. Jacksonville, I think, is the same, scenario. We seem to like playing Jacksonville. We played them last season. We got the W. Even again, because Jacksonville's defense is a little bit worse this season.
I think if there's one game you do lose, it would be to Jacksonville, just because they are still a strong team. I would argue, but I could see that one. Bengals. You guys have gotten so much stronger this
It
this
is.
entire offseason, has been amazing.
We
for you
actually
guys.
made moves for once.
I know, and they were
I don't believe it.
They were really strong moves.
And then week 5, we crucified the Dolphins.
Yep. Hey,
95 to 0.
let's do it.
95 to 0.
Oh, higher than me, 82-0, 95-0.
Yes.
All right.
If we lose to the Dolphins, I think I will genuinely go cry and
I'll call
stay
you.
in the same place that I was previously, which is just my dorm room.
I'll call you.
I probably won't pick up. I'll probably be crying.
Hey.
Week 6, you know what? We could lose to the bye week. Could.
No, you can't. If you're saying you're going 14-3, you can't lose to the bye week. Come on.
You gotta lose at some point, man. You gotta spread the love.
And that's next week.
I'd say week 6. It kind of depends on how we decide to pull our cards, but we regroup, and then we lose the next week. The
Yep.
Ravens.
You know what?
And it doesn't. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. It is at.
I'd argue it's your first true test, honestly.
It would be.
Jacksonville's the only other team, but Steelers, I feel like they're so weak. Maybe Bucks week 1. I think they're gonna try and get into the groove. Texans and Dolphins, I don't think will give you any sort of real tests. I think the only team that could give you a test is Jacksonville, but aside from that, Baltimore's your real test.
I'd say that, and following that, we also crucify the Titans.
Okay.
I think the Titans have done a lot in trying to rebuild their roster, but they do not have a defense. Week 9, I have a feeling that we're gonna not steamroll the Falcons, but we're at least gonna do a very good job at shutting them out at least.
Who's their quarterback?
Who's their quarterback is a great question because we don't actually have the answer to that, like we said.
Yeah.
So, and week 10 is going to be the same thing, except we are going to be at home, and you know what? The best part about week 10 is that we are going to be wearing our white jerseys. The white Bengal, and you know what? We don't like losing in those jerseys. We tend to win a lot when we're playing against the Steelers in the white jerseys because we won last year against them with our white jerseys.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's keep that streak going. That little magical streak. That little delusional streak.
Mm-hmm.
Week 11, I see them. Taking care of business in Washington.
I just don't know what Washington can do.
They just signed Stephon Diggs.
They did, but I just don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how they keep up necessarily, because they do. Have you seen Washington's schedule?
I've not.
Rough. Their schedule's really rough. They have a tough schedule.
Maybe we could take a little bit of a quick look.
As far as I've heard, they have a tough schedule. Yeah, that's a tough schedule.
Oh.
Yeah. How do they win more than half of those games? I don't know what they do. I think they're going to struggle. I think they're going to struggle a lot. So
They're going to die out there.
I think that's why I think
I'll wait until the new stadium gets rebuilt and then you can start going places, buddy.
Okay.
Because stadium, I think I'm more concerned about your stadium falling apart.
Next week. Go to next week.
Yeah.
Leave the Commanders alone.
Sorry, guys.
Actually, do it. Hail Mary. Bully them. Let's go. Hail Mary us.
Sonny Styles would bully me.
All right. Keep going.
Okay.
So he's not
Week
good.
12 against the Saints, I don't see them really putting up much of a fight. I see Tyler Shuck, obviously, playing his butt off.
If he plays how he did last season,
We'll have a decent chance of losing to them.
Yeah. Okay.
Week 13, is the Browns starting quarterback? They say it's going to be Deshaun, and then Casey Conception said, fire him. So I
You
don't
don't know.
think things are right in Cleveland.
They're
as
gonna
usual.
it's gonna be a fire. They're gonna lose to their bye week again.
Oh yeah, well obviously, but I think in KC in week 14, we handle business again because KC's defense is way worse than last year. Because you lose Trent McDuffie, you lose Brian Cook, you lose a whole bunch of your secondary alone. You also lose, I think it was
So
a
the Lions gonna come and get you.
yeah, sure he is. But
Did
week
you
15, I'd say we take our second loss of the season to the Panthers.
I think that's
because the Panthers are a very competitive team this season. And what's even better is the fact that they really picked it up at the second half of the season. If they try and do the same exact thing, we might actually have a fair chance of losing. And I think this is where we have our second loss. Week 16, I believe we win against the Colts. It depends on if Daniel Jones plays the exact same way he did last season, despite the fact they got injured. And Phil Rivers, unfortunately, had to come out of retirement, just to fill in the role as he tried to, because it would have been their kicker instead playing.
Try. It's honorable.
I see us winning against Baltimore in Week 17 because we'll be at home, and it'll be a little bit easier. So that'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be more or less of a shootout because a few of our players might get injured. And then in Week 18, we kind of rounded off. We probably already won the division, and we want to put in our backups and all that sort of stuff. And then, we automatically lose the game. It's the exact same way it went last year because I was actually at that game. That was my first Bengals game. We lost. I'm not surprised. But if I am being actually realistic, yeah,
That's pretty fair.
it could kind of.
I don't know if you lose that game. That game's the line. I think that could be an easy 12-5. Right?
Yeah, it could be a 12-5. I see 12-5 or 14-3.
I mean, even then, you're dropping a game to the Bucks and the Jaguars.
Which it makes sense. Jaguars are very competitive.
I mean, even that's still a great season,
Yeah.
There's no issues with that at all. And honestly, I feel like those are your two really toss-up weeks, to be honest. Week 1, I mean, we'll see how week 1 goes. Week 4, that'll be your first real test, I feel like, if week 1 goes well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see that, but hey, you know what? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think we're going to do very good.
I agree.
But anyways, I guess to round this whole podcast out, I think this was a really success. Wow, we went to 52 minutes just off of schedules.
Hey,
We yapped.
we did.
We
did.
yapped.
We did. We really did.
Do you understand that we yapped? And, we got to those 52 minutes respectfully.
We did. We did. It's honorable.
You showboated a little bit.
Sorry, I was trying to get through the schedule.
But I hope you guys did enjoy this podcast episode. It was obviously fun, traveling over to Normal, Illinois. I've been to Illinois before, but it was nice to obviously travel to a more suburban or more urban sort of sub-city compared to Chicago and Bloomington, which is right next to it. And I think it was a really fun experience so far. And obviously I leave tomorrow, and I will be editing for most of the day, or for at least a portion of it, at least getting some of it done, and then video should be up by Monday. And it was a lot of fun just being up here because this is the first episode where I actually have one of my guests actually right next to me.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm glad you were able to come down. Glad we were able to do this, get it all set up.
Yeah.
Have really no issues, honestly.
Yeah.
Got it all set up pretty easily, and
I had to sleep on the floor, but
Okay. Yeah, that's my bad. Sorry, but yeah, no, I'm really glad that you came. I'm glad we got the chance to do this.
Yeah.
Awesome for me, and got to see your little how it looks on your end. I get a little idea of.
It's a
how
lot
it
more
is for you.
complex now that you see it in
It definitely
person.
is, but like
Because it's way worse to set it up, and it can be a hassle, especially when things glitch.
yeah, I can admire the work that you put in, though. Obviously, it's
Yes.
definitely a little more. I can put myself a little more in your shoes here and understand it a little better.
Everything that goes into what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it'll just keep getting harder and harder because I'm going to keep incorporating more and more things as I go on. So next time we even do this, you'll probably be like, okay, where do we go from here?
Exactly. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So anyways, guys, I really hope you did enjoy RSL episode whatever. I've lost count at this point because, I've been so focused on, the Rookie Lounge. However, I would like to add one last update. Sponsor first. It's not W this time, actually. It is still my merch store. Grab yourself a piece of clothing. It incentivizes me to keep doing stuff like this, and it is a really good opportunity for you guys to pick yourself up just a nice little merch line. And if people start purchasing some of this merch, then I will keep obviously adding more and more stuff to the shop. But, it's still at the basics with the 2 t-shirts, the hoodie, and the cap that you can obviously purchase at Rowan Sports Lounge shop fourth wall. Rowan Sports Lounge store fourth wall. Editor, just
Editor, do it.
Do it.
Do it, editor.
But an update on the video. I read the poll, and it seems that you guys really want to know how college conference realignment works in every single sport, and I am more than happy to do that. So watch out for that video, obviously, before I move back into college and start getting things going again, because sports season is right around the corner, and I am more than happy to obviously produce as much content as I possibly can on the various topics that come out week by week. So, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and we will see you guys in the next video.